Hello, welcome to our October update here at Revesby Estates and the farm. Now we continue the theme of weather. What a month of weather we have had. Total rainfall 200 millimeters of rain. That is a third of our annual rainfall in the 1 month. 115 millimeters of which fell on the Friday. 60 mil had fallen before 7 o'clock in the morning. Treacherous conditions for everyone involved on the estate and wider afield. Flooding events everywhere. Mother Nature at its best. Not a lot we could do to help it. But on the farm we do quite a lot to help with weather events like that. Cleaning out of our ditches periodically. Some may look like they haven't been done. A bit like the one which I'm actually stood at now behind me. There's a vegetation on the bank, but this was actually cleaned out 2 years ago. We try and have a 7-year cycle getting around all of our ditches, cleaning them to allow rain to get off the land and away, not holding it up so it doesn't back up. Now naturally when you get 115 mil in such a short period of time, a lot of debris can be washed into these, and culverts and such like even natural occurring culverts, we can get blockages. So now we have to go around now and maintain these again to make sure we've got all the debris out of the way. So that is a job we are on with at the moment. Adrian has been round and surveyed all our ditches and culverts and got a list together of all the ones which we now need to clear. So an ongoing battle. So yeah, during this update, predominantly focusing on the weather, we'll show you some of our soils and actually the way we farm, our controlled traffic, our direct drilling, how it is actually helping with weather events, what we get. So we'll look at that. And the farm as a whole, we had just managed to get all of our winter wheat drilling up to date 2 days before the rain event came. We have probably lost part of the land, probably 40 hectares due to flooding. Some of our land sits below sea level, so naturally when you get them events, water table rises and it takes a while for it to drain, but we'll look at that in a bit. So I'm in this field here and you can probably see behind me this little gadget here running and this gadget here. These are new weather stations I have just installed. We've got 2 now on the farm. We've got one at one end of the farm and then another at the other end. So these are giving me live updates on what rainfall we're having, what the humidity is, what the temperature is, and also wind speed, gust, direction. This is all helping make decisions on the farm. So spraying windows, what the wind speed is, whether it's fit for spraying, if there's rain coming in, how much rain we've had, all helps aid decisions on the day. But also this is going to be linked into modelling. So we're going to look at modelling disease forecasting. So in this field behind me, we are looking at winter wheat has been sown in here. We're going to look at predicting when disease is likely to come into the crop. So it uses what weather we've had, what weather it's predicting, and local sort of disease spore catching to see if disease is around, and it's going to help us tailor our inputs. So traditionally farms have sort of sprayed on what we call T0, T1, T2 and T3 timings, driven by growth stage of the crop. That is how we have farmed for many, many years. Rip that rule book up and let's have a look at what's actually coming at us from live data. Is the disease actually active? If not, don't spray. If it's coming in, come in and spray. It means we could cut our applications down, theoretically, but the old ways of doing it actually are very, very accurate. You can nearly set your watch to when the disease is coming a crop, but it's just trying to bespoke and be a lot more accurate. So that's what these are really helping us with. And these are also linked to a weather forecast. So we get a forecast come through, which is then tailored with the data, what these instruments are giving into it. And it is hopefully going to give us a very, very accurate prediction of what the weather's going to do. Now, anybody what subscribes to our newsletter going forward, probably from the December issue, hopefully we'll be able to share some data. So if you're interested in what rainfall we've had in the last month and the year as a total, every month we will share the data off these on what has been. We can put maximum wind speeds in there, minimum, maximum temperatures, and then what rainfall we've had as well. Just a little bit of information for you if you're interested. So yes, back to the weather. Let's go and take a look back earlier at some of the rain events we had. So as people have seen the videos before know, we are a direct drill farm and controlled trafficking. Direct drill, for people who don't know, is basically where we don't cultivate the land. Once the combine's been through, nothing's done to that land, we come straight in with the drill at the appropriate timing and drill the seeds in. Big benefits which are rarely showing when we've had the weather events we've had. I'm actually stood now on the piece of land which had a bit of cultivation done to it. It's a bit of land we were altering the cropping on it, and we needed just to cultivate it. So there's a section in here with what's been cultivated. If you can see behind me, you can see the sand, what is sat on top of this soil. Let me just spin around. So there we go, you can see the brown soil patch, which actually, this hasn't been drilled, this brown soil, because it was going to come in with a different crop, but it's going to go back into wheat now. But the stubble around it has actually been drilled. Now as we come across this worked soil, you can see the sand in it. This is because of the volumes of water which have washed down this field, and it has carried the sand with it, and where the water has then slowed up, it has dropped the sand out. So we end up with these washed out patches. You can see all the ripples here, and then where it has ran across here and away. Other big problem with this is this sand is being carried as that water enters the waterways. It carries this sand, this silt with it, and deposits it into the waterways. So this is actually bad news when this is washing away like it is. You can see all the stones which have been opened up. Also, it's carrying nutrition off the field. Phosphate, big problem. Phosphate is held tight within the soil, it doesn't leach, but it can enter the watercourse as being carried by the soil. So this is one big benefit when you do direct drill drilling. So if I go and show you right next door over here to how that soil looks. Right, so here we are, direct drilled, no disturbance. See last year's oat stubble here versus the area what has been cultivated. And again, just push my foot in there, you can hear it squelching. There is no strength in there at all because all the air pockets are filled up with water like a sponge, and it squidges. Come next door where we've got no noise. Yes, there's a little bit of sinking because we've got natural air pockets in here from all the wormholes and everything like that, but it is holding up significantly better than where we've had the cultivator through. And ultimately, where we just showed you that washed off area, but if you have a look on here, you can still see all the debris, last year's chopped straw still here, all within place, which means the soil is maintained where it should be, the nutrition is where it should be, everything is within this field. So by moving to the direct drill route over the time like we have, we're actually benefiting the environment dramatically, keeping our nutrition where it should be, not getting in the waterways. It's very, very positive for us and also the wider environment. You can see the direct drill wheat coming up in here. There it is in the rows. The avatar drill put it in, and we've got, unfortunately on here, you can see what we call rasping, where this wheat has been chewed a bit on the end. Closer, my camera will focus in, but on the end it's been chewed off. Slugs are very active this year. We are battling slugs a lot. Still mild. Here we are actually on the 1st of November and we're around 15 degrees. Moist, mild, slugs are just prolific this year, so they rarely are a struggle for us controlling. So it's battles all the way, but we've got a crop of wheat growing in this field. The other thing you can see, we do put what we call a pre-emergence herbicide on to take out the weeds, take out the blackgrass pressure. But because we've had the rainfall, it has actually pushed that herbicide down around the roots. And when you see crops here with this purpling on it and this bit of paling of the leaf, That is because this wheat plant is picking up the herbicide we've put on to control the blackgrass. It'll stunt the wheat, it'll grow away from it. But that is because the water has pushed it around the roots. We put an adjuvant on to try and maintain the chemical in the top layer, but 200 mil in the last month, 115 mil since this went in, is just asking a lot for that chemical to stay in that top. So yeah, battles all the way, but really just wanted to show the benefits there of direct drill versus cultivated. Now let's go and have a look at some pictures earlier of when we really did have a lot of water running across the land. So here is our low-lying land. This is below sea level, some of this, and you can see 115 millimeters of rain has just overwhelmed it. Fortunately, just drilled these fields, so now this wheat won't make it. Internal drainage board ditch there. They actually pump this water off this land. They're doing an incredible job to get this water away. Our higher land here, this water is running down, obviously down the slopes, and it's pooling at the bottom and taking the path of least resistance. You can see it flowing there and the force across the fields. The thing of note there is how clean the water is. Because we haven't cultivated, there is no soil, no nutrition being removed from these fields, which is a big plus. 2 days later, we could actually travel on this land. The water has passed by, no damage done by the lane, and that is because of our controlled trafficking and the way we are farming by not moving the soil. So not the video I had planned on bringing you this month. It was meant to be about us wrapping up most of our winter wheat drilling and starting our sugar beet harvest. The sugar beet has been pushed now into November, so hopefully we'll see how that progresses. And the winter wheat, we had got it all finished just before the rains came, but unfortunately I think there's going to be quite a large area because of the flooding and how wet it sits on our lower land, and the slug issues won't quite make it. But we will, follow our progress throughout the year, subscribe to us and our newsletter, and see how we get on. Okay, see you next month.